It is the 4th of August, and it's exactly 4 months since we got our allotment back, and I'll show you around a bit. The first 2 tomato beds at the front are looking nice from farther, but if you go a little bit closer, you can see that most of the tomatoes have some slug damage, like this one here. But there are still very many tomatoes coming, and we can harvest a lot. The chayote plant I brought from the US is growing nicely. I've had more than one plant. I actually have 2 at the moment, this one, and over there is a second one. But some other ones got eaten by the slugs. Here's a remainder. But the ones that grow look really nice and healthy. The physalis plants look nice and healthy, and they also are getting their first fruits. But like always, they're ripening very, very slow, and I have my doubts that they will be ripe in time. But otherwise, the plants are really beautiful. The wild tomato plants on this side are looking really nice and produce masses of fruits. We also harvested lots of them, and there are coming still more. I think you can harvest from these plants every day. It's a jungle, but it's very nice, and they are also not so prone to be eaten by the slugs. I'm especially happy about my lychee tomato plant this year. It didn't have any problems with potato bugs, and there are masses of fruits on here and also additional flowers, so we will get a really good harvest, and the plant is really big and healthy and overall looks really nice. Here are some beautiful tomatoes, and if I go over to the other side, let's have a look here. There are the Basque blue tomatoes, and if you can see, they slightly turn red at the bottom now, and so they will be ripe very soon. This broccoli plant looks really great. Unfortunately, it's the only one that looks so good. Most of the others are completely eaten by the slugs. You can see the damage here. I'm curious whether they will produce some broccoli heads. This jungle here are my kaiguas, and I harvested a lot of them today. And as you can see, I have 2 different varieties here. This one is Cyclontera brachystachya fat baby, and up here we have Cyclontera pedata, and they're doing really well and start producing now. As you can see, those are beautiful plants. What produces really great this year are the beans. So here are pole beans, and we also have bush beans, and they're really big plants and healthy and produce lots and lots. This one has a really nice color, but I think you can't see it on the screen. It's green with purple dots. Very beautiful and tasty. This is my exotic field. Right at the front there's this yacon plant. Right next to it is I don't know how it's called in English. It's Sisum, I don't know, something like that. I also forgot how this one is called, and this one. But here is our Malabar spinach. It's growing really big right now, but it hasn't reached the top of the poles yet. But it's starting to bloom really nicely. You can see those beautiful pink flowers that will soon turn into fruits. They get dark purple fruits that taste not like much, but they color everything. You can dye with them, and so you can get like purple rice or something. The color is really stunning. The kohlrabi is already really huge, but like with the tomatoes, most of them have slug damage. My cucumbers are really taking off now. We already harvested some, and there are lots of flowers on here. And if I go down a bit in here, let's have a look here. There's a cucumber. It's not ripe yet, but we already harvested some cucumbers, and I'm really happy with them. This small green jungle here are the ground cherries, and I harvest a good bowl of them every day. From the top they look rather inconspicuous, but if you turn them over, let's have a look here for example, you can see masses of fruits, and as soon as they fall to the ground I'll harvest them, and they're really producing very good. Right next to the ground cherries, the jungle continues. These are my tomatillos, and I also harvest a lot from these. And as you can see, here's an almost ripe one. I already harvested many tomatillos, and I think it's almost enough to cook a sauce from them. Our peppers start to grow big enough for harvest, so we already harvested the first few recently. And we have different kinds. Here are some yellow ones, and a green one over there, and some more yellow ones. Here's a long one, an apple-shaped one. Another one that looks like an apple, and some that look like chili peppers but are actually sweet peppers. Because we only eat sweet peppers. For a change, there are only very few eggplants on here today, because we harvested a lot of them recently. But most of the plants are blooming, and I have a lot of plants here. Here you can see some of them, and they're going over all here. And I played a little bit bee and tried to get some pollen on all of them. So I took a fallen flower and touched all of these flowers with the front part to get them pollinated, and I really hope that they will produce nice eggplants so that we can harvest some more. This beautiful bed here is our bush bean and beetroot bed, and we already harvested lots and lots of bush beans. These are purple ones, and let's see whether I can find one. Here's one. They have a really stunning purple, and we already harvested kilos of bush beans. And here on the side there are green beans, and those also are producing masses, and I think probably we could harvest again, but we already harvested kilos of them. Next to them are the beetroots, and they also produce very nice beets, and I think we'll have a bumper crop of beetroots, and we already have a bumper crop of bush beans. It's the best bush bean harvest we ever had so far. So this bed here is actually our carrot bed, but if we go a little bit closer you can see there aren't really very many carrots. Here are a few tiny ones, there's a bigger one over there, but most of the space is empty. But if we go over here what you can see, these green pods here, these are radish pods and I really love them. They're way sweeter than radishes, and I don't like the radishes here get so hot you can't actually eat them. But those pods have a really nice radish taste, but aren't hot. Yeah, so we have a really good harvest of radish pods right now. And we could also harvest some onions here. I'll leave them in here a little bit longer. We planted them to protect the carrots. I don't eat onions, they are all for Gavin. So we have a really nice harvest of radishes. And look at what a big plant such a radish is. It's a really bush, a big shrub. Very beautiful. I almost forgot something. My Melotria plants are really taking off now and they're producing lots of fruits. And I already harvested some of them. There should actually be another kind of cucurbitae or some however this is called. Actually, they didn't come up. Instead, Melotria came up. So I think there was something wrong with the seeds. That I got wrong seeds, because there should be something like this here growing. This one's not producing fruits right now, but it's blooming and I hope it will produce fruits. But for the moment I'm happy with my Melotria plants. And yeah. This is my watermelon patch, and we actually had about 10 fruits already, but they've been completely hollowed out by the snails. And therefore we removed them all and hope that the plants will produce new fruit and that they will ripen in time. My potato plants still look very nice and healthy. Many of them bloomed. I can have a slightly look around. Here you can see more of them if you can. And there's also very many weeds between them, like beautiful flowers. But the potatoes look almost all very healthy and nice, and I will leave them a little longer. I think there's only 2 plants that start wilting now, and we will very soon harvest them. Here's another tomato bed, and we already have very big fruit on there. Let's see if you can see this. Here's a big slicing tomato, but we also have small cherry type tomatoes, and there are really very many fruits on here. If you can see it over here, there are many more, and the plants look really healthy and nice, and we will harvest a lot of them. This bed, unless the other one, has really healthy plants, no sign of blight or anything, no wilted leaves. You can see very beautiful, nice tomatoes ripening here, and I think we will have a very good harvest from them. And I'm very happy with this tomato bed. Also not so much slug damage here. I think the corn bed looks really great, with the corn slightly moving in the wind, and it's blooming so beautiful. You can see all those tassels here, and if I go over a bit, I've already noticed some first ears forming. Let's have a look whether I can find it here. There's some hair from an ear there. Yeah, not sure if you can actually see it, but the first ears are forming, and I think it looks really great. And I will go over to the other side of the corn field, and if you look closely here on the side, I have a corn stalk that's completely red. Beautiful color, isn't it? So I think we will very soon have some corn ears to harvest. Oh, There's actually a beautiful one. The sugar melons are still very small, but they're blooming very abundantly, so who knows, maybe we will get some sugar melons too. So this should actually be our sugar snap field, pea field, but the sugar snap peas are almost gone now. Instead, the squashes start to take over the bed, so they come from over there and grow to here, and I'm not so unhappy about them being here, and because if you look closely, here's a squash and over there's another one, and they take over here, and that's good. The Swiss chard over here was looking very unhealthy. It had brown dots and was eaten by the slugs, so we cut it down very harsh, and it will eventually regrow, and we don't need that many Swiss chard anyway. You've already seen our squash field from the other side, but it's also nice on this side, and there's another squash down there, and it's looking all good and nice, and I think we'll have a good crop here. Zucchini are producing great. At the moment they look a little bit, don't know, skinny, but there's still fruit on there, and we still have like 4 or so fruit at home. And here's another one coming along, so they're still producing, and we also still have zucchini at home, so I'm really happy with the zucchini this year. This bed is empty now. It was our pea bed, but this was planned this way because on the other side here our squash needs space, and we knew that the peas would end soon and would make space for the squash. Here are my okra plants. I have to admit I imagined them taller, more like corn. They are really tiny, but they are blooming nicely. Here's a blossom. Unfortunately at the moment I can't find the flower, but over there, where is it? Here there's a pot, and there's another pot over there. This one's really nice, and they're producing really good at the moment, and we harvested already some, and there's actually no difference to be seen between the ones that I propagated beforehand and the ones that I've directly sown here. So next year I will direct sow them all, because it doesn't make a difference and it's easier. This is our second carrot bed, and the carrots here are doing way better. Big healthy plants, and there's also some radishes and onions, and you can see these are really big carrot plants, and these are the ones that we've sown 2 or 3 weeks after the first bed, and they're doing really great here. This is my one asparagus pea, and it's blooming nicely, and on the other side it also has a pot already, or more of them. I don't think they taste very delicious when raw. Maybe they're better when cooked. I'll have to try. The beans are blooming nicely and already produce nice big pods. I think this will be a good harvest. This is our second beetroot and bush bean bed, and it's actually the first one we planted, and the beetroots are huge, and we had many bush beans that we already harvested. There are still some on there, and there will be more, and I'm really very happy with this one. What might seem like a tagetes bed is actually our sweet potato bed. Here are the sweet potatoes leaves, and they're looking really good, but the tagetes are just so pretty. And we have many sweet potatoes here, healthy plants, and it looks just so beautiful with all the flowers in between. So here is my herb bed. The blooming thing is oregano, and there's some sage and thyme in there. And then we have some chives and I don't know, something with garlic. And the thing that's so empty here, the empty space, there was garlic growing, and we already harvested it. And then we have many beautiful flowers. And if we go over there to the other side, there's lemon balm growing. It's already very big. And the artichokes are huge. They're really taking off this year. I hope that they will produce some flower buds so that we can actually eat some artichokes. There's also a strawberry plant over there, and below there's another strawberry plant. I actually harvested a strawberry from this one today, and here was some more garlic. It's gone now. And with a nice view on our flower bed, I say goodbye.